Good morning, my beautiful friends. How are you today? So, I had this moment yesterday when I was talking with a colleague and friend of mine about an achievement that he just received. And I want to start with what my aha moment was and where it goes from that. So, can you imagine being in real estate? Or actually, no, let's put it this way. Can you imagine being a 10-year-old child and having to explain to your parents the agency disclosure form and the lead paint form and the home inspection form? So can you imagine being a 10-year-old and explaining what happens to children when they are around or get exposed to lead paint, or what can happen in a home inspection, and also what it means to have someone representing you, client versus customer? Can you imagine a 10-year-old child translating that for you from this person? And in this case, Paul Yorkis is a 70 something year old man. And can you imagine like pointing to that man and telling them that this is what that man is going to do for you? And just like the responsibility and the weight of what that must have been like for that 10-year-old child. Now, imagine you are a real estate school owner and you understand that these two people, Nellie Soto and Paul Yorkis, are trying to get our forms translated. And you're like, oh, great. I'll do that. I will have my school translated as well, so someone can take licensing class and become a licensed agent with their first language, which is not English. And imagine doing nothing about it after that. So, difference between Paul Yorkis, who is our National Association of Realtors fair housing champion, and me. So I had to look in the mirror a little bit on that. And I want you to look in your mirror too and wonder, how are we doing what we can to be the best that we can? And I have the link to the video that he and I did together. I'm teaching fair housing next week on Monday. If anyone wants to come, just let me know. It's a virtual class. Send a message to me and messenger me. But back to Paul. And I remember being on the education subcommittee when he came to us and said, and he was on the committee as well, I want to figure out how we as a state can have, and at that point, the beginning was the agency disclosure in numerous different languages. People are not understanding what this means. And I remember saying, like, oh my gosh, that's going to be so difficult. You're going to have to go through all of these hurdles. It's going to be really hard to happen. In other words, no, right? And it wasn't us who made that decision, but it was part of his initiative to get this going. And you will hear on the video all of the steps he did in order to get not one, but lead paint buyer and seller, uh, not fair housing, agency disclosure, and home inspectors disclosure. So 4 forms translated into 7 different languages. Anyway, I hope you watch the video. He's a fair housing champion. He's a realtor champion. He, he is somebody who is tireless. And so I thank you, Paul, if you are listening ever and you get this message. But for you guys, if you happen to see this, watch the video. Okay. Let me know if you want to come to my fair housing class. That's why we did the video. We did the video so I could present it to the fair housing class on Monday. And Cameron is teaching at home with diversity later next week. So let me know if these are anything that is of interest to you. The classes are free. And Paul Yorkis, you are amazing. You inspired this little white woman who never understood privilege until I started teaching at home with diversity. Of my white privilege. Anyway, I'm going to mark my words. By now to the end of the year, I'm going to figure out a way to get our class translated, because I said I would, and I didn't do anything about it. And he inspired me. And Nellie Soto, you inspired me too. So thanks so much. I'll talk to you guys soon with updates.